Good afternoon, and welcome to the long overdue episode 3 of Becoming Her Anyways. If you're listening today, I appreciate you. And I apologize for the delay in this episode. But this summer has kicked my butt and been really, really busy. I have been working on my brand, yay, working on new products. My daughters have been super busy. One's back in college, the other's going back to school at the end of the week. It has just had so many things going on, so it's kept us busy. So, my apologies for the delay. Today, I kind of just wanted to talk about parenting and truly, pardon me, how parenting has healed my brokenness. At first, I thought, I'd be a different parent, not necessarily like the organic snack parent or the gentle parent, but I definitely thought I'd see it differently, or I parent differently. I just knew that I wanted to parent different than my parents, right? I wanted to make sure that they got the best pieces of me so that they could be successful. And I have to say that when it comes to parenting, I feel like I'm winning. So it's the one thing that I cannot get wrong and I refuse to get wrong. And I will keep trying to do my best at. Not that I, go into jobs and, start you know, not caring and saying, "Oh, I'm just don't care about this. I'm going to do my worst." I mean, I put my best foot forward in almost anything I do, but when it comes to parenting, it's almost like I just cannot fail. I refuse to fail. And it's important that I create successful little beings. Sometimes those successful little beings, though, are a mirror of stuff that I don't necessarily like about myself. I've got a potty mouth, and I've got one child who's got a potty mouth. We know how to turn it on and off, which is grand. Thank goodness. But sometimes she's just super comfortable with me, and I have to check her and check myself, and it's starting to heal my tongue and my brokenness, because that potty mouth just comes from what I heard as a child. And it's actually I would say a tenth of what I heard. So I'm already doing better there. With that said, I need to continue to do better. And, when I hear certain things coming out of her mouth, I'm like, I'm your mom. You can't say things like that in front of me. Again, healing me, making me realize, hello, you got to check yourself because she's a reflection of you, right? Yeah, because the apple's fallen directly from the tree. Which is good, for everything that's going grand and everything that she's like working for, and like the drive and the ambition and everything else. Yay, she's got the good qualities too, but she also has some of the qualities that I don't like about myself. And matter of fact, they both do. So let's talk about one piece, one mirror that I don't like looking into. And that would be the mirror, the grand old mirror of opinions. That's not what I said. I don't necessarily think that I'm a very opinionated person, but I will give you my opinion whether you kind of ask for it or not. And I'm realizing that that's not always a good thing. That's probably most of the time not a good thing, because most people don't really care, right? Let them do whatever, let it go. Why do I got to give my opinion? I recently my kids sat down and, as I shared before, gave me their opinion on how I show myself or show up on social media, in comparison to how I am with them. And then I'm moody, and, that they kind of are on edge because they don't know, how I'm what mood I'm going to be in, how I'm going to act, which is true. I'm in perimenopause, so I mean, cut me some slack. I don't even know. Okay. I have no control over my mood swings either. With that being said, though, they give me their opinion all the time, like down to the point where when I'm speaking French, they like to mock my accent. I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm speaking. Like I'm holding a conversation. I'm in it for like, it could be 20 minutes going back and forth with someone. But they'll catch one word that I've said and give me their opinion on, how I said it and, poke the bear, so to speak, right? Don't want to hear it. And they'll give me their opinion on my hairstyle. One time their father was taking me out. This is probably a couple years ago, and I thought I looked good. Okay, I put myself together, and they made fun of my hair. They gave me their opinion on my hair and made me feel a little self-conscious. I mean, I still rocked it and went out anyways, but I didn't necessarily like that. And then I realized I don't like it, but I do it. They're a reflection of me. So maybe I shouldn't be giving my opinion. I'm healing. I'm working on this. So anybody that I've given my opinion to that really did not want to hear it, my apologies. It is something that I am healing. And so there's a benefit to that, those little mirrors, right? Because it tells us, oh, you know what? Actually, that little bugger is me. And maybe that's something I need to work on. So it's been grand. I'm again, we're all just a work in progress, right? That said, I'm healing. And also, the little girl that's still broken inside of me that I'm trying to fully heal, which I probably never will, reminds me of, what I don't want to do as a parent. So parenting, is not the book. It's not the therapy. It's not a book. Sorry, it's not therapy. It's not, a doctor helping me heal. But I'll be darned if it isn't the best thing for me for healing. And the true, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The best part of it, not the true, the best part of it is that because I'm healing and becoming a better person and becoming a better mom, I am getting the blessing of two very successful children. I will share some of their successes later on during another episode. But the better I am, the better off they are. And they have been truly successful. Just even I'll share this. They were both valedictorians, graduating elementary school. They both were on the honor roll for in high school. Very, very strong in academics, in both an enriched program. And yes, I know that sometimes, can't happen and you can be the best parent in the world. The child just doesn't have that gift of academics, right? But because I gave them that discipline, that drive, and that motivation and stayed on top of them, they that gift shined, right? And because of that, they were blessed, right? And I was blessed. So that's just one piece of it. And a lot of people ask me all the time, like, how do you do it? How do you get your girls to stay so disciplined? And truly, I believe it's just a matter of making sure that the pieces that were broken in me that needed to heal in order for me to keep them motivated, I had to work on, right? I still have to work on not calling them names. Because let me tell you, growing up, I heard a lot of names. I was called some putrid names. And there are times that they drive me nuts. They drive me absolutely nuts. And I have to bite my tongue and maybe say it in my head or cyber punch them in my head. Not cyber punch them, but mental punch them in my head so that I don't lose my mind and that I don't curse them out and that I don't call them names. And the struggle is real at times. But with that being said, it makes me a better person, right? Pushing past that makes me a better person. And in the end, they don't have to deal with a mom that is yelling at them and calling them names, right? So the struggle is real there sometimes. It's something that I had to heal. And that wasn't, a healing that came from a mirror of them, but it came from a mirror of my childhood. And so that's just one piece of it. So for anybody who's listening and who's a little shaken by that reflection sometimes of your child or your childhood, just remember to lean in softly. Don't judge yourself and don't rush them. Just notice. Just notice and take baby steps on how you can change that. You can't change the past, right? You can only change your present. You can only change your reaction to things. You can't change what happened to you, but you can definitely work on, what you do moving forward. And you only get one chance to raise those little beings, those, little mirrors of ourselves. And I'm totally like not stressed, but I'm totally squeezing these like I'm stressed out. I guess the conversation's making me a little stressed out, or the topic is making me a little stressed out. It's really not though. But with that being said, be soft. Be soft on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Parenting is probably the toughest job, but it's the most rewarding job. And again, it's a reflection, right, of what we've gone through and what we don't want our children to go through. And, the power is within you. You hold it, right? Being the parent, being the mom. And really, that reflection in the end becomes a gift. And it has been a gift to me and helped me heal. So, this episode was short and sweet. Thank you for listening today, for holding space for yourself. And remember, healing through parenting is a gift. And truly, at the end of the day, it is probably parenting in itself, it is the greatest gift of all. So be good to yourself, be good to one another, and stay tuned for episode 4.